ticket.
John Jameson means everything to me.
How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another video. So today we are checking out some more Marvel Legends. I finally got my hands on a couple of the Magic the Gathering Marvel Legends crossover figures. The first one, well, I don't know when this video is coming out, but today we are checking out Man-Wolf. First time we're getting Man-Wolf from Hasbro Marvel Legends, and I think he's a really great figure, so I don't really want to ruin it. And also, we do have merch. I don't point that out enough, but I'm wearing my own merch. So if you're at all interested in repping the channel that way, check out below the video. I think there's a link to my fourth wall. If you want a t-shirt, sweatshirt, it's all really good quality. So pick one up. And with all that being said, let's just get into the Man-Wolf video.
It's you, John Jameson.
So this is the first Marvel Legends Magic the Gathering figure I got my hands on. We got Man-Wolf. And if you didn't know, I'm sure you do if you watch my channel regularly, I do play Magic, and I am excited for the Spider-Man set, although unfortunately Man-Wolf's card will not fit in either of the Spider-Man decks that I've made so far, but we will also look at the card and I'll break that down as well, which will be a nice interesting little dynamic in this video as opposed to the people just here for the figure. But at the top it says Marvel Legends series, and it says Magic the Gathering / Marvel Spider-Man Man-Wolf, and then of course we've got the figure in there and it says exclusive collectible card. On this side we've got some really cool artwork actually of Man-Wolf, and it looks to be drawn, it's not a render, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. On the back there's no extra information, although it does show the other figures in the wave, and I will get the other three at some point. In fact, one of them is coming. I'm not going to spoil it, but that video may have gone up first, I don't know. Agent Anti-Venom, Mary Jane Watson, and Spider-Man, but he's battle damaged. So those are the other three figures in this wave. And if you didn't know, there is a Marvel Superheroes expansion coming next year, so be prepared for more. And it does say Wizards of the Coast down there, and guess what? Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. Go check out my Worst Companies of 2025 video, by the way. Worst toy companies, I should specify. Open window on this side with the smaller version of that artwork. Top of the box, bottom of the box, and with all that being said, find your mana, because we got Man-Wolf.
Dude, what happened up here?
I don't remember. Everyone was freaking out about something, a monster, loose in the building.
Monster like your dad monster, or monster like Booga Booga Monster?
So first of all, this is the card. It's double-sided, so this card transforms. There's a lot of Spider-Man cards that transform for obvious reasons, but this side is Colonel John Jameson. He costs 2 mana, a mountain, and a forest. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield, whenever this creature enters or transforms into Colonel John Jameson, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token and you gain 2 life. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform this creature. And of course, I had to open it to flip it over, but on this side obviously is Man-Wolf, creature werewolf with trample, which means if someone blocks it, the damage that was not blocked, say for instance a 2/2 was blocking and this is a 4/4, they would still take 2 damage, the player. Whenever this creature transforms into Man-Wolf, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player or that planeswalker's controller controls, which is pretty nasty. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform this creature. So then you would. So whether it's you or someone else, it's a very pretty looking card. Full art, nice foil. So I'm pleased with that. I'll have to build a deck around it. This will probably be a commander, but it's pretty cool. All right, so here's our Magic the Gathering Man-Wolf, aka Colonel John Jameson, out of the box. And if you're wondering, yes, he is related to J. Jonah Jameson. If you don't know, he is his son, and he is an astronaut, and he went to the moon, and he found this gem, and it turned him into a werewolf. So that gem is actually on his chest. You can see it, that red gem. So that is how he gets his power. And if anyone was wondering, so the look of this Man-Wolf is straight from the comics, but it's from the Man-Wolf solo series where he's like doing space adventure stuff. So it's like swashbuckling and magic in space, and I will throw up a picture of the cover because I was like, where is this art from? But yeah, it is definitely accurate to the comics. It looks fantastic, so let's just get a closer look. In case you were wondering, that mouth is articulated. We'll go over that more in articulation, but it's a completely new figure other than some accessories. There's an interesting thing about those arrows that are sticking out, and I will get to that with accessories as well. But starting at the head, you can see we've got obviously a wolf head. We've got some nice paint application around those eyes, and the armor is nice in different textures. We've got some scale mail for the bodysuit with the gold and red accents all over it, the red belt with the gold, and of course the gem on his chest, coming down to his man undies, I guess, which are also green, and on the front that comes down to more armored texture, just like that chainmail. Although it's different, lots of textures all over this. Coming down to his legs, of course, there's sculpted fur because it's completely new. We've got half boots because his big old werewolf toes will not fit in the boots, so those are poking out. But overall, he's a great looking figure. I like the amount of accessories that he comes with. He's got lots of weapons. And he just looks really cool. And it's a character that's been missing from my Spider-Man shelf for a very long time. And I know it's not like the normal Man-Wolf outfit, but you know what? It still works. It's still from the comics, and Man-Wolf originated in Spider-Man. So that is exactly where he's going to go on my shelf. And as a bonus, like I said, we got this cool card out of it. So I ain't hating. I've needed Man-Wolf. Should it have cost $40? No, maybe 30 with the new price of everything, 35 at the max, but it is what it is. And I have heard some really bad things about that Spider-Man, but we'll get to that when I get that in my hands and I do review. But for Man-Wolf, I have no complaints. He feels great. He's sturdy. We don't have any gumminess. He comes with a bunch of accessories, and yeah, I dig the character, and I think he's cool. And if you can figure out why I like the character or how I relate to the character, don't say it in the comments, please. Checking out his height, Man-Wolf, Star God, John Jameson, whatever you want to call him, to the top of his ears is just under 7 inches. So he's like 6 3/4 inches to the top of his head. So pretty tall. And then I guess we'll go over the articulation. Starting at the head, which actually has quite a bit of range of movement. He can go forward that far, back that far, and that's because they actually figured out how to make that dumbbell work. So good job, Hasbro. You did your homework finally with the double barbell neck peg. Shoulders come up about 90 degrees. That shoulder pad kind of gets in the way, but it doesn't. Bicep cut, pinless double elbows. Can't quite go fully 90 degrees because of his gauntlet, but that's okay. We do get a stupid waist swivel. Forward on the ab crunch, backward on the ab crunch. Legs come forward. To the side, we get a thigh cut. We get pinless double knees, which are very nice. And then we get some rockers, swivel on those ankles, and of course forward pegs on, well, this one's actually a side or up down peg, which is good for sword wielding hand. And then yeah, that is the articulation. He, it's a Marvel Legend, but you can do some cool stuff with him. He's not limited. It's just butterfly joints and a waist dumbbell make everything better. So I'm sure we'll get a single release modified version of this at some point, but I really like him. I think he's a pretty solid figure. Oh my god, I forgot about the best part of the articulation. His mouth opens a lot, and you can close it all the way. So that's really cool. Just look at that face. Look at that puppy dog face. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Greedo, I filmed that last, and it just did not want to focus. I'm pretty sure because he looked too weird for my camera to be like, what do I focus on? Not to be alienist or anything, but yeah. Checking out the accessories. First of all, the cool thing, so we get this quiver with arrows in it, and it's a bunch of arrows, right? Usually they're sculpted in, but what Hasbro did is they gave us this thing that you kind of just fold over. You fold it over and you put it in there, and then you got a quiver full of arrows that are not sculpted together, and then you also get another arrow, which we have seen before, but that's okay, that fits right in there with them. And that actually could probably go either way. I kind of like it facing the other way better, but actually for accuracy based on the artwork, because the artwork, it's pretty dang accurate to the artwork, especially I'll probably throw that picture up on this part, but why won't that go on there now? There we go. But yeah, just slides on over. You can take it off if you want, leave it on, doesn't matter. Head goes back on. And then you've got his quiver of arrows on. And then we get this bow reused. We've seen it many, many times in Marvel Legends. I think the last guy to have it was Yondu. But once again, you would kind of just, well, I did it in the wrong order. I should have kept his head off. But there we go. Just fits around there. I don't know how long you'd want to leave it posed like that, because plastic, you know. But we also get a sword. I don't know if this is new sculpt or we've seen it before. I'm just going to say it's reuse, but it probably isn't. It's probably sculpted just for him. And of course he gets a sheath for it right here. So he can hold all of those accessories. And then the only other things that you get is an open hand for the left or the right and a fist for the left. So I'd say there's a decent amount of accessories. Plus you get the Magic the Gathering card. There should be $40. No, but that's just the world we live in. Especially when it comes to Hasbro. Hasno. Yeah, I don't know. But I do like the figure. I think he's pretty swell.
Might I also suggest an electric razor?
First up, for scale and comparison, here he is with his dad, J. Jonah Jameson, and Spider-Man, his most of the time friend, sometimes enemy when that man-wolf side really takes over. But yeah, here's that. Of course, Spider-Man's slightly taller than J. Jonah, and Man-Wolf is bigger than both of them, clearly. Here he is with his ex, Jen Walter, She-Hulk, and the currently announced as being re-released 20th anniversary Captain America. So there's those three together. And yes, Man-Wolf and She-Hulk were married at some point. Here he is with Jada, Sagat, and Vega, with Jada, Shaggy, and Chester E. Cheetah, and then lastly with Rhea Ripley from Mattel and Rowdy Riles.
On the moon, even I can pitch a fistball. Ready?
So what can I say that I haven't already said? Shouldn't be $40, just like the maximum shouldn't be $50, and now $60 on some places. But he's still a cool figure, as is the case with some of the maximum stuff. We do get a magic card, which I appreciate. And he just looks fantastic, and it's a character that we hadn't gotten, and I really think it's the coolest out of the Magic the Gathering wave, just because of that case. We finally got John Jameson III, aka Man-Wolf, aka Star God, aka a furry mamma jamma. So yeah, with all of that being said, if you like this video, smash like, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed and you're new here, become a channel member if you please. For 99 cents, you get early videos like this one, live streams, other perks for being a member. Of course, like I said, check out my merch. Well, I don't think I said that yet in this video, but do check out my merch if you want to rep the channel in that way. Pretty comfy clothes from Fourth Wall, so those are pretty cool. And yeah, comment, let me know what you think, if you play Magic the Gathering, what your favorite colors are, how your day is going. Just say hey. If you're protesting, be safe. Be kind to your local LGBTQ community. I love y'all. I will see you next time, and bye-bye. Awoo!
Return to
Mythical Walmart end cap.
Ah, Morty, you're still watching this crap, isn't this? To review figures and toys and stuff, aren't you a little old for toys? Ah, geez, Rick, you know, I don't think you should call her a bitch, and I kind of like her videos, so maybe you should shut the up. Q, Morty. Q.